CDs are back in 2025, baby, but don't just buy them. You should buy them this way. Listen, anybody can roll through their Goodwill after they've bought their morning coffee at their favorite non-denominational coffee shop and grab a fistful of CDs, throw a $10 bill on the counter and call it a day and feel good about yourself. But that's not collecting, that's hoarding. But don't despair, because we're going to talk about building a real CD collection, one that tells stories, defines genres. Let's start collecting CDs intentionally. These 10 mini collections are just an example. You don't have to collect these mini collections. But I think what this video is trying to get at is how to rethink our collection, reframe the way that we see collecting CDs. Number one, the 27 Club. What is the 27 Club? Well, the 27 Club is a group of musicians which all coincidentally died at the age of 27. And some of those coincidences are eerie. But whether this is just a morbid pattern or maybe something deeper, these musicians left legacies, and most of them were at the height of their careers. So let's quickly go through these albums. Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. Janis Joplin, Pearl. Jim Morrison, From the Doors, L.A. Woman. Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, Nevermind. Amy Winehouse, Back in Black. Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones, Aftermath. You also have Ron Pigpen from the Grateful Dead and Richie Edwards from Manic Street Preachers. I'm not familiar with all of them, but I think you get the idea. Buy these CDs, put them together, and then you know that this is the 27 Club. Top 10 albums by whatever year. By your birth year. I didn't like that one though, so I went with 1991, which was an absolute banger year for music. Remember when we already talked about Nirvana? Because Kurt Cobain died and he's part of the 27 Club? Well, he's also part of this club, the 1991 Top 10 albums. Nirvana, Nevermind. Metallica, Black. Pearl Jam, 10. Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger. A Tribe Called Quest. I would probably leave this one out of my collection, but it's still a good record. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. REM, Out of Time. Come on. 91 was just packed. The point is that there are other years out there. Choose a year, find out what the top 10 albums were, and go collect those, and then put them on your shelf. I've actually done a top 10 record list for every year from 1967 all the way through 2024. I'm trying to figure out a way to like package that because it's a monumental list of records. Nirvana, Nevermind, is also in the third mini collection because we're talking about a genre-defining list, and that genre is grunge. We also have Pearl Jam 10 joining this list as well. Soundgarden makes the list again, but this time it's super unknown. But it is known because it's super unknown. Alice in Chains, Dirt, super heavy. That was such a great album. Stone Temple Pilots, Core. Temple of the Dog, Temple of the Dog. Mudhoney, Super Buzz, Mid Buff, Big Muff. Mudhoney, Super Buzz, Big Muff. The Melvins, Mother Love Bone. You get the idea. You take your favorite genre, you figure out the top 10 records, maybe the ones that mean the most to you, but ones that help define the genre, and you buy them, and you put them together, and you put grunge on it, or whatever you want, unless it's country. How about this one for number 4? CD mini collection number 4. Music scores. This is a little bit of a departure for me because there's no words and mostly no electric guitars. But let's go through a few. Hans Zimmer, Inception, or basically any Hans Zimmer scored movie soundtrack. You got Gladiator, all the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, they're all wonderful. Speaking of Batman, how about Danny Elfman? How about the soundtrack to Jurassic Park? It's still stuck in my head. I actually had the CD in the 90s and I listened to it, not ironically. Of course, John Williams again in Star Wars. Ennio Morricone, maybe. The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Spaghetti Western. You get the idea. What are your favorite movies? Find out who scored that soundtrack and go buy them and then put it on your shelf. My favorite movie collection. Speaking of movies, how about the soundtrack time machine? Pulp Fiction, The Big Chill, Trainspotting, Almost Famous, The Crow, Singles. The movie was terrible, but the soundtrack was really good. Dazed and Confused, High Fidelity. Heck, even the Forrest Gump soundtrack is a banger. Buying soundtracks is kind of like a CD hack. If you're not into the whole album, but just want really good songs, just go buy a CD soundtrack. Grosse Pointe Blank, that's another really good one. I had to look this one up, but this is the CD format collection. Basically some of the first records that were released on CD. The first one, I had no idea until I did the research. Billy Joel, 52nd Street. You got Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, which everybody probably has 2 or 3 copies of. Michael Jackson, Thriller, U2, Joshua Tree. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. Whitney Houston, Whitney? Is that it? Is that right? Yes. George Michael, Faith. The Police, Synchronicity, all that stuff. The point is, these albums birthed the CD revolution from cassette tapes. Thank you, CDs. This one was a fun one. The One Hit Wonder CD collection. You can put Milli Vanilli on there if you want to. Everybody had a copy of that. It was so devastating to find out that someone that didn't actually have talent but looked good and could dance around and represent something, a feeling, was actually not a musician. How can that possibly be true? Britney Spears? Actually, she was pretty talented. Aha! Hunting High and Low. That's the name of the band, Vanilla Ice, To the Extreme. I kind of disagree with that because that record was banging. Blind Melon. Blind Melon. Chubbawamba. Tub Humper. The Vapors, Nuclear Days, you get the idea. One-hit wonders. Go buy them. Have fun because there's only one good song on that record. Maybe don't buy them. But it would be a fun mini collection to make. You could put that on your shelf and just put, I literally wasted my money because there's only 10 decent songs in this entire rack. But House of Pain, a lot of good songs on that record. Your Desert Island CD list, although you're gonna have to have power out there and you're gonna have to have a CD player, something like that. Maybe you can create some type of solar system. But hopefully you don't die from dehydration and hunger. But if you don't, this would be on my list. Metallica, Master of Puppets. Nirvana, Nevermind. Korn, Led Zeppelin, I haven't decided on which record because they're all awesome, but probably 2, 3, or 4. Audioslave, you get the point. Collect that and then put maybe a jar of sand on top so that you know that this is your Desert Island mini CD collection. So even if you're blinded, you can go find the jar and then pull out that CD. And then try not to die of dehydration and hunger while you're listening to music. I have no idea what number this is, but it's a fun one. And that's the Evolution of Rock CD mini collection. Chuck Berry, The Great 28. The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper 1. Led Zeppelin 4. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. The Clash, London Calling, and you guessed it, Nirvana, Nevermind's making it into this one too. Radiohead, The Bends. I don't love that choice, but it's okay, it's on here. The White Stripes, Elephant. Again, I don't love that choice. Foo Fighters, Wasting Light. Again, the bottom third of this list is terrible in my opinion, but that's the great thing. It's my opinion, and I can make up whichever evolution of rock and roll in 10 albums I want to, and so can you. They weren't that popular, but they were alright. Bands from whatever genre was dominating the radio airwaves. This could be a mini collection in and of itself for each genre, but I like Bullet Boys, the Bullet Boys. I thought that record was awesome. There's a cover of Money. And the rock anthem, Smooth Up In Ya, by the Bullet Boys. But an album like Rotting Pinata from 1994, that's kind of the grunge B tier. For thrash metal, it'd be something like Exodus's Fabulous Disaster, which, by the way, did you know Kirk Hammett from Metallica was previously in Exodus, and some people think that he was stolen from Exodus. And now Exodus plays biker bars, which I'm not throwing shade at them. They should have been bigger. But that's an example of these bands that would make up this mini collection. The ones that might play at your state fair. Bands like King's X, Static X. How many X bands can we have? The Toadies, Rubberneck. You know what I'm talking about. Deep cuts from the music that you enjoyed when you were a kid. Make a mini collection of B-tier bands that now play state fairs or biker bars. Do that. That would be fun. Are we at 10 yet? I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out when I'm editing this video. It's 11:42 p.m. and I just finished the rough cut of this video, but then I had a whole bunch of ideas about funny mini CD collections from my life, and I'd like to share them. The when I failed anatomy in college, the when I lost my car in Newport, Rhode Island, the soundtrack to my first divorce, the soundtrack to the first time I got fired, which incidentally was from GNC, the soundtrack to my second divorce mini CD collection, the I threw out my neck because I was brushing my teeth wrong mini CD collection because I'm old now. I think you get the idea though, and I hope this video kind of, I don't know, gave you some ideas. What should be your mini CD collection? If you actually had a mini disc collection, that would be something quite special. Probably valuable at this point, but I hope you're picking up what I'm laying down. Don't just go out and mindlessly grab CDs. Have a theme. Have some fun. Build that collection based on what's important to you. If you found any value in this video, which was a lot of fun for me to make, you really need to check out my video I just made about why people collect CDs in the first place, and it's not for the reasons that you think they are. It is. Put that video right up here, somewhere like that. Go ahead and click on it. It'll be a lot of fun. You're gonna take a trip down memory lane. I have a whole bunch of nostalgic B-roll clips that are just gonna keep you engaged and fake you into thinking the video is actually good. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Maybe share this video out and put in the comments what mini collection that you would create. Thank you for watching.